What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, this should be the last video on my 1994 Ford Mustang GT with a 347 stroker and a Powerdyne Supercharger. We brought this thing back from the dead from a Florida hurricane flood. It runs and drives great with working air conditioning and heat. Everything works almost like it's supposed to. Couple warning lights on the dash. Check engine light comes on from time to time, but it's got great tires, runs and drives absolutely great. It's a blast to drive, manual transmission, and it's time to list it up for sale. I've already cleaned it up. We've deodorized it. We use the ozone machine on it. So it should be good to go. All right, so why don't we take this thing out on a test drive? I'm actually working on another video for you guys, but unfortunately it got delayed. So I figure while we're waiting on some things on that video, well, we'll just come and take care of this. Now, I cleaned this car out. I got all the gauges working and the lights and everything working like they're supposed to. She's nice, guys. She's nice. She smells good. We're gonna take her a little drive so you guys can verify for yourself that she's a mover and a groover. All right, it's been parked and it'll start right up just like that instantly. 80 psi of oil pressure, water temp is cold, you've got your fuel pressure on the right, boost on the left, and there's currently an airbag light and an anti-lock brake light. And check engine light will inevitably come on. Being that it's a 94, it's that old school like OBD1, and I don't have any way of diagnosing this currently. So, look at that boost gauge. I love this car. I really love this car, which begs the question, then why are you selling it? Well, guys, it's kind of what I do. See this yellow boat right here? I don't even want to tell you. I've spent so much money. We'll get into it. Let's just leave it at that. We'll get into it. But that car right there, guys, I've spent some money on it. I spent some money on it. We got some sponsors for it too, so stay tuned. That's all I can say. Let's turn on the air conditioner. It is actually very, very warm. It's in the 80s out here today. I'm gonna buckle up. We're gonna take her on a quick rip. We're gonna get her listed for sale at Copart. I'll give you guys the lot number and then we'll call it a wrap. All right, you guys ready to roll? Let's do the thing. Come on. Oh, we're sliding, man. I just did a burnout in my grass. Yep, there goes all the mud. Perfect, I just cleaned this damn car. Perfect. I love this perspective right here with all the gauges. All right, we're gonna stop and go get some pictures taken, and then we'll take her for a little more of a rip. She's nice and cold right now. Remember, this car is lowered, so you gotta be careful when going over bumps and stuff, but man, she is a hell of a car, and that air conditioning, nice and cold. So I got this thing listed up on Copart for sale. The lot number is 491-76015. Not to worry if you didn't catch that. I'll put a link in the description below this video. But I got it posted up. I didn't know what to ask for, guys. I don't even remember what the buy it now is. Probably like $8,500. In my opinion, it's worth it. But, you know, the market will dictate what it's actually worth. Now, here is something interesting. While I was sitting here getting the pictures taken, getting this thing listed up for sale, someone made me an offer on this of $4,500 through Copart, which, no, not going to happen. And then this showed up. Future video, guys. I'm not going to tell you anything about it other than this is a 2008 Mercedes-Benz ML320 CDI. That means this is a diesel. A diesel. First thing I noticed, it's got Pirelli Scorpions for the tires, matching front and back. How about that? Next thing I notice is, I mean, honestly, it's got power. The key is still strapped to the steering wheel there, guys. I didn't even come out and looked at it yet. So you're kind of getting a preview right here, but this isn't all. Not only, why is there mud on the seats? That's interesting. Or is that, surely, yeah, that's mud, right? Yeah, that's mud. Okay, it's mud, but not only, does this have a diesel exhaust fluid? It doesn't. This is prior to all of that diesel exhaust crap that you had to put. Oh man, those things are bad with the tanks and the squirters and all of the DPF that you have to insert. this I'm excited about. 1,500 bucks, guys. Now that's not all, because I bought a lot of cars. I've spent close to $30,000 in the last 4 days. Needless to say, that one wasn't anywhere near 30 grand at 1,500 bucks. This one that I just purchased, stupid cheap. I mean, stupid cheap. You're not going to find one of these ever for the price that I got it for. Cobra, yep. Transmission, yep. Late model restorations, you already know. I had to get some parts. You guys, look at this. Would you look at this? Yep. This just got delivered to me today as well. It's a day for deliveries, man. Stupid cheap BMW i3 with the Rex. This is an electric and gas. It's got a scooter engine, a 2-cylinder gasoline scooter engine in the trunk that literally charges the battery when the battery runs out. When the battery goes dead, the Rex kicks in. It's called a range extender. The Rex kicks in and provides you the necessary charge that you need to keep on driving until you run out of gas. This thing's cool. Suicide doors. Stay tuned for the video, guys. I don't even know if this thing runs and drives yet. It was delivered, of course, with 0 battery, and it was listed as having engine damage. Sold on a red light, meaning as is, where is, it's, yeah. I drove it into the garage, and as you can see, she is charging, and boy, she's sucking it down too, because that cable is hot. But anyway, that's not what this is about. Let's get back out here, take that Mustang GT for a drive. All right, guys, I'm ready to take this thing for a little rip. And with any luck, this car will be out of here soon. You guys already know what that means, right? I'm keeping the Cobra. If I'm selling this, then I gotta keep the Cobra, right? I don't know, man. I'm still torn. Mainly because I keep buying cars, and this is the situation. This is the problem with what I do, is you fall in love with everything. You fall in love with everything, you can't keep all of it. You know what I mean? You cannot keep every car that you find. So you gotta send some down the road, and I've bought some cars just in the last few days. Mainly, the one I'm most interested in right now is my Hummer. My Hummer is something I'm really excited about, and I didn't pay, oh, come on now. I didn't pay a lot for it, I killed it. So I got a cheap Hummer on the way, and on top of the Hummer, I got a cheap BMW i3, and on top of the cheap BMW i3, I just bought a cheap Mercedes ML 320 diesel, and that's not all, guys. I've got a Lincoln LS on its way, should be here, I don't know, probably tomorrow. Honestly, the Hummer should be here any day. And I got some big things going on at the house too, guys. We'll talk about it in a dedicated video, but I am really thinking about tearing down AAR headquarters. Just the house, not the shop. Just the house, but I am really considering demolishing the house, and I'm already talking to several places about several different options to put there. Number one, the easiest and most convenient is a trailer. A newer model trailer, drop it down there, demolish the old house, level it out, drop a trailer in its place, and you're done. Easy peasy. The next option is a modular home, having a place that's actually built out of good materials, having the house demolished, a foundation built, and a new house put on top of it. That's an option. And then the other option is a barn dominium, which my godfather is actually drafting up plans right now for a 2,400 square foot barn dominium. It'd be like 1,200 square foot of living space, 1,200 square foot of basically shop. So there's a lot of different options, and I got a lot of thinking to do. We'll come back in a different video. We'll talk more about it, and I'll give you kind of a tour of the house and show you why I am going to tear the house down. No matter what happens, this house is getting demolished. Now, as far as the timeline goes, I don't know yet. It could be in the next couple, 3 months. It could be in the next year, maybe 2. I just don't know, but the house is really getting in bad shape, and the cost to fix everything and put it back together, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for what I could put either a trailer or another home on the property for. It makes no sense to keep chasing problems with this house. Anyway, like I said, we'll get to it. For now, though, All we got to do is enjoy the ride in this supercharged 347 stroker Mustang. Now, I was really nice and I filled the tank up on this with 93 octane, premium unleaded. Now, I want you guys to see, as we're cruising down the road, we're doing almost 70. All right, good fuel pressure. Get on it a little bit. I'm not going to get on it too much. And then we've got oil pressure sitting close to 80. Water temp is good, low. It stays nice and low. This car always runs cool. There's the rest of the gauges. Oh, we're actually doing 75. Oops, I didn't realize that. This car, it is extremely easy to go fast and not even realize it. It does not feel like we're going 75 miles an hour, and we're sitting at like 2,000 RPM. Now remember, this transmission is not the factory transmission. We did a video on that. We found it was a Tremec, was it a TKO or I can't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about. But the gentleman that emailed me back that used to own the car said he spent 20 grand building it. That transmission was not cheap. This car is ready to go, man. It will drive all day, every day. This is a car I would hop into, and I would not hesitate to drive it anywhere at all. Lights work, signals work, air conditioning and heat, good tires all the way around. It doesn't vibrate. We got new rotors, new pads, so the thing stops on a dime. Transmission shifts like it's supposed to. No funny noises coming from the engine or the supercharger. It's just a solid car. We put a bit of work into this one, guys. This one was a little bit of work, man, but once we got her sorted, she is solid. Well, we made it to the 5-mile mark, and the air conditioning is still nice and cold. We do have some lights on the dash, though, full disclosure. Check engine light, airbag, anti-lock. Those are going to stay on. The airbag light is a module that sits somewhere right under here. Needs to be replaced, and then the airbag light should be fine. The anti-lock brake, that's going to be the ABS pump. I have no doubt that the ABS pump is trashed on this. The reason why is simple. The ABS pump was underwater. So, yeah, she ain't gonna be any good, guys. But I'll pop the hood for you. It has no hood latch, so it's just these pins. It's an aftermarket hood. So, there it is. The compressor cycles on and off. Give it a minute, it'll come back on. There it goes. Bingo. Air compressor cycles on and off. You can hear that supercharger whine. Sounds good. Sounds good and looks good, man. Supercharged Mustang GT. There she is, man. I love this car. But here's the problem with doing YouTube as a business. You can fall in love with the cars all day long. That's fine. Nothing wrong with falling in love with them. And if you got the money, you can keep them all. That's fine too. But the problem is these cars are good for content for the channel. Once you get them fixed, listen to this. You hear that cam? Oh my God, dude, come on. The problem is once you get them fixed up and they're running and driving again on the channel, at least for my channel, there's really no more content. I can make more videos on the car, but the views just fall off because it's not as entertaining anymore. When you're trying to get them running, when you first get them, you don't know what's wrong with them, that's fun, that's entertaining. But once they're running and driving, it's like, okay, let's do this video. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Nobody cares because it's not that interesting. And I understand that, which is why ultimately pretty much every single car that I own ends up having to go down the road because the views fall off, and if it don't make money, it don't make sense. All right, let's go. I'm gonna be easy on her. There we go. I couldn't find the gear. Oh man. There's fifth gear. There we go. There you go. I didn't burn the tires off or anything like that, guys. I'm just trying to show you, you can lean into her. You can have some fun with her. She'll get down the road just fine. My fault for missing the gear. I'm not all that familiar with this car. I probably haven't put more than 50 miles on this thing. Since I filled up the gas tank, I put 27 miles on it, and that's it. And then I put probably 20 or 30 miles on it before that. So I don't have a whole lot of experience driving this car. All I can tell you is it is seriously rowdy, and it is just a ton of fun to drive. Now, with that said, it's a great car. I've had a good time with it. You guys seem to have enjoyed the content on it, but it is going down the road. So if you're interested in it, go check it out at Copart. Like I said, I'll put the link below this video. Just about anybody should be able to bid on it. And this is not a salvage title, all right? This is a reconstructed / rebuilt title, which means it is legal to drive on the roads. I already did the inspection process, and all of that stuff is done. So there is nothing to do other than put your name on it, insure it, and drive it. I really hate letting these cars go. It's hard. It's really hard. I've tried to get used to it. You would think after all the years that I've been making videos and doing exactly this, I would be used to it by now, and I wouldn't allow myself to get attached to cars. But it just happens. You know, there's people out there like Hoovie's Garage that, you know, he buys cars and he's like, why do I do this to myself? Oh my God, I can't help it. There's something wrong with me. I keep buying. You know, I believe him. I do. You guys thought I was going a different direction with that, didn't you? No, I believe him. I do. Because I have that same problem. I'm kind of an impulsive car buyer. And I think the reason for that is because, hell, when I was young, I didn't even have a car. You know, there's a lot of time in my childhood, my family and I didn't have a car. We had to walk. And if we were lucky, we had enough money to take a bus. So now that I'm older and I can afford to buy cars, now I want everything. And I'm not out here like, I gotta buy a Ferrari or a McLaren. That's not me. Yes, I did buy a Bentley once, and it was fun. I just did it because it was cheap, and it's like, who doesn't want a Bentley? Like, to be able to say I got a Bentley. I had a Bentley convertible, a GT, whatever. Yes, I bought a Bentley. That was epic, man. I've had some really cool cars, but the reason I keep buying them is because I want everything that I never thought I could ever have. I never thought in my youth that I'd be able to have anything. I didn't think I would have anything. And here I am with new cars, and now I can go and buy all the cars from my childhood that I always wished my family could have afforded, and we couldn't. All the cars that I thought I'll never be able to have something like that, and I have them. Granted, it's 35 years later, but I have them. That's all that matters. I really believe that it's a psychological thing for me. It is an addiction. I'll come straight out in a minute, and that's no lie, and I think Hoovie's Garage has the same problem. The difference is Hoovie's Garage has a lot more money. When you have millions of dollars, or you can afford to go millions of dollars into debt, that offers you a whole different opportunity, a whole new selection of cars when you have the ability to go millions of dollars into debt. And believe me, if I could go millions of dollars into debt on cars, I probably would. It's no joke, guys. Like, we buy these cars because we can't help it. There's something within us, in our heart, our soul, something that just drives us to buy these cars. And for me, all of these old cars and unique and fun cars, these are what literally brings a smile to my face. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this car tickles my fancy, as they used to say. I do thoroughly enjoy this car. And that air conditioning, honest God, I've got it on normal AC and I've got it turned down. It's freezing cold, man. Freezing cold air conditioning. So she still has a full tank of gas. Mileage is sitting at 144,282 now. Shut her down. Oh, you know what? Let's look at the temp now that we just got through kind of romping on her a little bit. I want you guys to see the temp under 180. When I tell you that she stays cold, like this thing stays ice cold. It never, ever gets hot. I had the parking lights on. There we go. She's a good one, guys. Another car saved from the floods, and that's another reason that I've really been enjoying these Florida flood cars, is because these things were destined to go to scrap. These would have gone to the junkyard. They would have been parted out, and that'd be the end of them. Now, I'm sure some of the parts would have lived on, maybe, hopefully. But as you can see, with all the flood cars I've got out here, this one's a flood car. It runs and drives just fine. No problems. What else do we have that's a flood car here? I've sold I've sold quite a bit. I still have quite a bit for sale. The Nissan, the 300Z, yet another flood car. How often are you going to see somebody driving? How often do you see a car like this rolling around on the streets anymore? You don't. It doesn't exist, guys. These don't exist anymore. And if they do, well, they're worth a pretty penny, and generally people aren't going to be out driving them. Look at this. Beautiful car, flood car, runs and drives. The Impala. Yep, flood car. Guess what? Runs and drives. The Mustang, the 2015 Mustang, also a flood car. And again, runs and drives. So many people are terrified of flood cars. They think that once it's a flood car, it's junk. It's going to rust to pieces and it'll never work again. Man, come on, guys. Have you seen enough of these videos yet? Come on. That's not the case, man. That's not the case at all. With that, I think we're going to conclude this video. There it is. There it was. Link below the video if you're interested in throwing a bid on the old Stroker GT.